Happy Father's Day, everybody. Welcome to Generation Dan, the podcast where daddy has been ruined forever, so my kids are going to call me bruh. I'm Atlas. I'm your millennial. Who else is with me?
I'm Gino, the genetic marvel. It's fantastic.
I'm so scared of that because, there's
Yeah.
dad, father, papa, daddy's ruined forever. So,
Listen, that's in all honesty, number one, Joey Edibles, you're absolutely right. You two would be a whole lot prettier if you smiled once in a while. That's accurate.
That is completely accurate. Yeah.
I just like to go right out on a limb and go, hey, what's up? It's not like that.
Yeah.
And that way it really, really makes people know what we're doing. Yeah, Father's Day. The idea of calling someone daddy is I feel like it's repulsive at this point, right? Like it has to be.
Well,
Like, it's got to make people uncomfortable.
Well,
right?
because it's like kind of a
What's up,
meme, kind of a
sure,
kind of a kink thing that
I definitely laugh when people are like, grab it for me, daddy. And both the dad and the boyfriend go to grab it. And I'm like, yes, that's hilarious. At the same time, calling your father daddy, ew, you have a problem.
I mean, it's usually like when the kid is little, and then as they get older, it just turns into dad or.
Yes. And like the funny thing is, like, I'm not being a father, but having a lot of friends who have kids, they come to me for a little bit of non-child madness counsel, because having a child, you go crazy, right? I'm not sure if it's like a long process or if it's like right in the beginning, you go nuts and then ta-da, now you're nuts, right? So you have that difficulty. But like they'll ask me, like, is this normal? I'm like, oh, I would have been much worse than that. And they're like, really? I'm like, you have no idea. I was a bastard. Would it be okay to call my mom daddy?
No. Okay, so now I'm imagining you in like Lucy's psychiatrist stand that she has in Charlie Brown, like just out in the fields, in a field somewhere, and like all your friends come up and be like, hey.
Kind of, because like I've always been a voice of reason because of my upbringing, right? Like it was my upbringing was meant to be significantly strong morally and understanding what right and wrong is, which at this point is a moot point because everything's fucking crazy, right? So which is fine. So
that's one of those things where, like, you take a philosophy class and they're like, yeah, so most of the stuff you learn that as morally correct might not be correct. And then you're like, I'm 17. What the fuck?
Well, that's the hilarious thing is, like, just the idea, like, the more and more I'm reading of history and what people call philosophers and stuff, I'm going, you can't teach philosophy. You just philosophize. Like, you just have to think it through. Like, it's the process of understanding. So it's like when it comes to kids, I like the idea of like a Mother's Day or Father's Day. Like, I think those are really cool, but at the same time, like, don't parents do enough? Like, because they're gonna have to figure that out too. And you're like, oh, now I gotta, like, Christmas, Halloween, Jesus. Like,
I think for like Parents' Day, it's not really like for both parents until the kid is old enough to like figure that shit out yourself, you know?
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, it's just the other parent doing the thing.
100%. Yeah, 100%. It's same, and that's the same. Like, it's that's the one thing I really, really enjoyed. Oddly, I know this is gonna sound weird. Like, I loved not having to worry about Christmas and stuff because I saw friends go through that, and I'm like, that seems like a horrible amount of work, and you're already loaded. Like, I don't know why this is. They're like, oh, we got to hang up Christmas lights. I'm like, you guys haven't mowed your lawn in 4 weeks. Like, honestly, you're good. Don't worry about it, right? Like,
I've been like incredibly lazy with some stuff. Like, for example, I think Christmas lights just kind of look nice. Those have been up all year.
I like the little. Well, you live in a cave somewhere, so that's fair. That's
a cave with Ozzy. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I don't celebrate Father's Day as it's just another expense. Mind you, I love the card my kids make me, but that's it.
Don't spend money. Yeah, perfect. I mean, like,
absolutely.
Okay, I went to go visit my dad yesterday for
Yeah.
Father's Day. Originally,
course.
we were supposed to go to Katie's parents for a barbecue.
Yeah,
And my dad was going to come, but he had like a bad day with his Parkinson's.
for sure.
So,
Which happens. Yeah.
so I went to go visit him after. I was like, "So what'd you do?" And he goes, "Oh, you know, the other two kids, they haven't been here all day, and neither has his wife." And I'm like,
That sounds great.
"Well, that sucks." He's like, "Are you kidding me? It was awesome. I didn't have to deal with anybody all day." I was like, "All right."
Like that's and you know, as I get older, and I'm sure Alice, you're going through this right now, is like the comfort and joy of peace and quiet, where you're like everything. I don't have any tasks to do, but
Mhm.
also nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Like there's a certain joy that you get from that. That I want to think it's wrong, but at the same time, it's so good. It's so good. Like
I go through that with like every 5 years or so with my
Mhm.
birthday, where people are like, "What do you want to do
Mhm.
for your birthday?" I'm like, "I want everyone to leave me the fuck alone for 24 hours." And
That's a good one. Yeah.
a couple times I've had people like, mostly when I was a kid, because
Yeah.
my sister or my mom were like, "What do you mean? It's your birthday. What a waste." And then like as I got older, they're like, "Yeah, all right, cool, go have fun." And
Yeah.
then one of them was with Katie like 2 years ago, where I was
Mhm.
like, "Just leave me alone for 24 hours." And she's like, "Are you gonna break up with me?" I'm like, "Literally, no. It's not you. This has been going on long before
Yeah.
we met." Uh,
Yeah. Like honestly, I was happy that the pandemic happened, so we couldn't do anything for my birthday because I turned 40 in 2020.
okay,
So, and I was like, I don't want to celebrate that. Like,
yeah,
I have no job now, no career because everything has stopped, and
mhm,
as well, no kids. I have pension. Like, like
mhm.
I was like, this isn't a celebration. This is horrible. Like,
I mean, it's less about the. I think as you get older, the birthday becomes less about the hitting the milestones and more about like I haven't seen you guys in like a year because we're all
oh,
adults. Come
100%.
hang
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah. Right? Am I
That's. Oh yeah, yeah.
okay? All right.
It's an excuse, and that's like one of the things. Like, especially like with my brother passing recently, like everyone that I talked to, I was like, "Hey, just do me a favor." They're like, "Do you need anything?" I'm like, "No, I don't know yet, right?" Because
Mhm.
it was a big thing, right?
Yeah.
I said, "Just do me this favor, go hug your loved ones. That's it." Like
Okay.
I hadn't seen my brother in quite some time,
Mhm.
and so that means that I wasn't even able to rub in his face how much weight I'd lost, and like I'll never get that
Yeah.
opportunity back.
Okay,
I'm
you
so
know what?
I resist. It's so good.
I appreciate the spite behind that statement because I would totally do the same thing.
Yeah, yeah,
No, for sure.
it's
Like,
very reasonable.
so Katie's grandfather passed recently,
Tough,
which
tough.
sucks. But
Dad's side,
uh,
mom's side.
mom's side,
Mm.
and
Oh, poor mom.
we're like the funeral is early, like next month, and I assumed I was gonna have to go because go support my fiance, right? And then she's like, "Hey, so my grandpa put in his will that he doesn't want anyone to like wear fancy dress or suits or anything to the funeral." I was like, "I love this man and I've never met him." Like,
Yeah, yeah. You know,
um,
like, yeah, that's classy. I like it. That's a man. You know, who's
mhm,
like, yeah, no, like, I'll be honest with you, Atlas. Like, that's for me is I liked what happened with my dad's was we had a just family
mhm,
uh viewing, put him in the ground, and then it
yeah,
was a week later we had a talk, just a memorial service where everyone got to associate, have some food and stuff.
mhm.
Maybe wear a tuxedo shirt. Definitely,
I think
that
I
is
might. That's not a
specifically
bad
the
idea.
occasion. That's the occasion for a tuxedo shirt. It's like
Mm,
I want people to know I'm being respectful, but also I'm hearing this man and I am living his truth. You know, like
yeah,
that's. But that's like. It's one of those things where you're going, yeah, listen, I don't want people to be like crying and shit. Like,
yeah,
absolutely not. You know what I want? Shots. Let's do shots, barbecue. Everyone's getting
yeah.
fat today. You know, I don't want anybody to poop for at least 48 hours. That's, you know, there's
Or shit
tons
your
of meat.
pants. It's got to
Or,
be
well,
somewhere in one direction or the other. But
can you imagine? This
what?
guy's funeral, everyone shit their pants.
Uh, I mean,
I
you
can't.
kind
I
of
don't even have the time to get the thing going, man.
you got to play it. Like this is the
I have shit in my pants right now.
There
I
you
shit
go.
in my pants.
Okay,
I
there you go.
Jesus Christ. No, but listen, yeah. I like what do you think? How at what age do you think is a good time to be a dad?
Well,
Like
my
I
parents had me
Yeah.
older,
Yeah.
and I, as a kid, kind of resented that because
Yeah.
all of my friends' parents were,
Much
in
younger.
their early to mid 30s, and my
Yeah.
parents were in their early 40s. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking a good age to be a parent is like early to mid 30s because you are probably in a better position
Yeah.
financially and also mentally where
Yep.
you've kind of seen some shit around the block. I think having a kid in your 20s, if you can help it, should probably be avoided. I think you should get all the dumb shit out of the way.
I don't know. Like there's
Where
an
do you land on
argument.
that?
I like same is that like I was talking to a friend of mine about this. He before the pandemic he had his third kid,
Mhm.
so finally a son, and he has two daughters, and he loves his daughters, and he was like I don't care either way, but there's also a thing for men. He's like, oh, you know what, I want a son to because that's mine. Like I get to help him where I needed help too, right, and help him
Yeah.
grow. Right, it's a thing. So, and that's nothing against daughters or anything like that. Just that's not it. But he was saying how it's like the hard part was that if you have them early on, you're not developed enough or wealthy enough or any of those things to give them an exceptional life. But having them later on is you just can't keep up. And
Yeah.
his big thing was at this point, he goes, now, at least before when it was just two girls, there was 1-on-1. He goes, now it's 3-on-2. And you're like, we are outnumbered. How, like, he was,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, and then the pandemic happened. And I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
man, yeah, how you doing? And it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. Have fun.
Katie and I had a talk of like, if we have kids, how many will we have? I'm like, we're not going to have more than two, right? She's like, we're not having a football team, 2 max. And I'm like, good. Like, I'm
Yeah.
happy with that.
I would love a football team.
There's a what's his name? I think it's Steve Rannazzisi, or he's got a thing about after he had a second kid, he's like, I went from zone coverage to man defense.
Yeah.
And
being a parent, like, can you imagine just the amount of shenanigans that will happen in general, right?
Mhm.
And then having one day where
Yeah.
I try and time it so it comes out with the words now.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
It makes it a little more acceptable. As if I didn't mean for it to happen. No. But like the idea where kids now, oh, happy Father's Day, and you're like, hey man, just don't be a piece of shit. I'm good. I don't really care about that idea.
Mhm.
You know, you just don't need more of it. But that's just, I don't know.
No, definitely. I don't know. It's been interesting seeing, like, where with my dad, where he had 2 sets of kids roughly as one was going out of being the children, right?
Yeah.
So, and then he starts over, where
Which
that's kind of hard to watch, and I feel bad for the guy, but he's doing all right, I think.
At the same time, like I think it would like that seems like kind of a dream, right? Like as long as you're able to enjoy it and like it's not a burden, it's not bad. I just received a picture of specifically, let me see, it was the only way to survive a third kid in your 40s is this one. Rabid kid trying to bear mace.
Bear
That
mace.
seems, yeah, that is 100% accurate. That's yeah.
If our kid is anything like Katie is a person, that kid is going to bite me. Katie will just do the thing where she just goes, like, no bite pressure, but just kind of like puts her teeth on.
Just so you know that you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
No,
it definitely keeps you honest. Yeah,
establishing dominance. Good for
her. Oh dear Lord. Yeah.
Look, you're very tall. She's got to make sure you know that at any point in time she could take you. And so,
I mean, She scares the crap out of me when she goes into teacher mode. She does the like
Oh yeah.
strict disciplinarian thing well.
Yeah, Victoria's tried that a couple times on me, and I just looked at her. I was like, "Teachers couldn't do it. Don't pretend. That's just a bad idea." But
I am so combat, not combat, risk averse with that sort of thing. Where
which is I feel like that's a good thing. And honestly, the one thing I really appreciate nowadays is that for young kids, that people are leaning towards communication and understanding. Like we were talking with a friend of mine last night, how her daughter was able to kind of compliment herself and like speak highly of traits that would normally be looked on as gross, or like she was talking about her, that the fact that she has like she's just a new teen, right? So she has some acne on her forehead,
Yeah.
and she's like, well, that's to show that I'm youthful and that I'm maturing, and you're just like,
all right.
oh, are you kidding? That's a very positive thing. And I was like, ew, gross. That was my immediate response. And I'm like,
okay.
Oh, okay. That's why I'm a bad person.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah, it is.
Especially with like all of teenagerdom from like what the 60s until or the 50s until now has been like being a teenager is terrible. It should be terrible. Fuck all of you, right? And then now we're with Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They're starting to like try and be more supportive of each other. Probably because school shootings are a thing,
yeah,
at least in the U.S. But you know,
but you never know when your last moment will be. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's
pretty messed up reason for it to happen. But
super messed up. But like, I can appreciate that. That's a better way of accepting those changes because they are hard enough on your psyche as it is. Forget about like all the other shit that you have to go through, like just maturing and like, is this live? Of course it's live. If so, how live? Very live. We are. You cannot prove that I am not a human being that currently exists. However, I am going to be coming to Cleveland, so we'll see.
We are Bill O'Reilly live. We are. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Here. I'm going to show you guys. I want to show you something that's actually very cool. That try and get everything ready for it because I'm very excited. I'm very excited about it, so I'm just trying to get things ready. So Atlas sent me this, so I'm just going to show off. Atlas sent me this to do, and I was going to show it, and I thought it was cool. And here you go. He's right here.
Oh, right here. Good. I'm glad he's safe.
It's so soft, and you know how long I've been looking for a 6-legged flying bison as a support animal, and I feel like I could be a real Dr. Evil for this time. Big, yes,
definitely. Well, you're about the size of a flying bison. You could probably keep it in your lap.
It's not a bad idea.
Well, okay. The reason I sent it to him was that I was it was like a meme I was doing for Twitter because I'll like schedule tweets just for joke stuff. And it's like when somebody at your work takes your lunch out of the break room fridge, and then that. So somebody takes your lunch out of the fridge. Tell me where Appa is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The idea that someone would say, I don't understand this comment. What is it? The poof in the front is the show trademark for hosts.
Does he mean this?
Joey,
or
maybe
the
is Twitch offensive to epileptics?
Is Twitch offensive to epileptics? Not to this epileptic, although it's actually that's a good question. I should go ask that guy Brain Ablaze on Twitter. He's
talking about his hair.
It's the hair. Yeah. All right.
Technically, we both have little poofs. Mine's just on its way out, and yours is just coming in. Good for you.
I don't know if it's coming in. This might be like the last bastion of my hairline. I don't know.
Trifastic.
But this has been a thing since like 18 though, so I don't think I would start going bald that quickly, right?
Maybe in this time of maturity, you should have a mohawk for a little while. Maybe your last opportunity, just a little one. a
Not a
little.
bad idea.
I did it when some guy challenged me to a fight, and I was like, okay, so I shaved it like Zangief, so short on the sides and a strip down the middle. And
Okay.
then somebody's like, hey, you shaved your head. And then it came closer, like, oh, you didn't shave. Oh, that's intimidating. I'm like, that is exactly why I did it. It was very intimidating.
I love the idea of you shaving your head like Zangief and then coming in with a Russian accent.
You think that you will fight me? Absolutely not, my friend.
You fight
Comrade.
Dino. You fight
It's
Dino Genetic Marvel, not today.
Comrade, you have stepped into the Marvel's domain. You are immediately going to be in pain.
Oh, Lord.
So no, that's honestly, I'm also smoking a rack of lamb right now, and I'm telling you, there's nothing more giving you the dad vibe than you're like, oh yeah, I'm also cooking meat while I'm talking with people. It's like very very exciting. But so
Yo, how about we get side mohawks and maybe Hawk from Legion of Doom? What
Listen.
is a side mohawk like on like?
Yeah, so it's like
Okay.
this, like Prodigy guy.
Okay.
Easy. I am smoking some GG4, a great strain. Listen, Joey. I'm
Wrong kind of smoking, Joey, but I appreciate the effort.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Are you kidding? I had at a Friday night. I did live comedy Atlas, and I had a bunch of edibles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ruined me for like a day and a half. But Atlas is smoking up some Bibles for some.
The funniest part of that is that I'm Jewish.
It makes it even better.
Yeah.
You definitely look like somebody would be like, Jews for Jesus. And you're like, oh,
yeah.
what's happening?
Yeah, come in. All right, guys. All right, gang. We're going to talk about the Lord, and then turn my chair backwards and sit in it. Yeah, definitely.
Have you ever seen that rap where he says, the Lord is my... and you're like, oh, why would you say that? It's quite exciting, I'll tell you.
No, I haven't.
I'll send it to you because it will ruin your day. That's fair. No, I like the idea of Father's Day. I think it's important, but I feel like we're celebrating it wrong, as you said, Atlas, is the idea of giving a dad 0 things to do other than what he wants to do and peace and quiet. I think that is how you celebrate a good Father's Day, right? And like Walkie Talkies or Neat said, no extravagance or no spending of money. Sure, do something nice, make a card for the guy, and then leave him alone. I think that's a good, solid celebration.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like Mother's Day is probably the day where you're supposed to kind of shower them in affection, and like not always the case, but there's more of like a culture there.
Oh, and I think mothers demand it. Let's be honest. That's if you don't like I was fortunate that we didn't celebrate anything. A lot of these moms are trying to go, oh yeah, there's that, which is hilarious. Wants a well-needed day alone with his girl. Joey.
I like how Joey keeps like giving people reason to hate him, and yet he's
definitely, I love likable. He's so likable because you look at his smile and you're like, he doesn't have girlfriends. That's fine. Yeah. Sorry, Joey, I couldn't resist. No, but that's like it's one of those things where I don't like. Yeah, Mother's Day, you have to be celebratory of your mom, or she's gonna put the evil eye on you. Like that's she'll definitely because let's be honest, every woman has a little bit of sorcery in her. Just standard.
A little bit of sorcery.
Factory issue. Yeah. Okay. Come on, you've never said. Listen, I've seen women that I know walk up to me and go, "Hi, I'm Dino," and they're like, "It's me," and I'm like, "I don't know who you are. We've never met," and they're like, "I'm just not wearing makeup," and I'm like, "I don't know who you are." And they got so angry, and I'm just like, oh no, Mr. Girls. That's I feel like that's a growing camp of belief is just I like girls, one specific kind, ones that will sleep with me, love them. You're like, yeah, that's.
I think that's one of those things where just as you get older, like you will get used to that and just be like, all right, this is just what's happening.
Yeah,
and like that's the type you attract. What can you do?
I know what Joey's saying. Yeah, I lost my dad a few years ago, and that's kind of hard. I was thinking of going to visit his grave, but I was just like, that's sad. That's not a positive thing, and he wouldn't want me to do that. He would want me instead to celebrate and lose some pounds, which I did.
Yeah.
Hey, look at me.
And pour one out or something. I don't know.
No, we never really drank. It's I think more so right now I am living a life that he would be proud of.
Okay.
Not happy, but proud. So he's like, hey, you've taken control of your existence and you're trying to become better. That would bring him joy. But at the same time, he's like, you're also kind of poor and still fat. So, you know, so it's like,
I
that's
mean,
a fair, yeah.
of all of the things I've heard about your dad, that does sound very on character for him.
Yeah. You know, it's, well, the good with the bad. He was truthful, loving, but also honest. So you'd be like, hey, you're a bit of an idiot. You're like, I can't disagree with that.
I mean, my dad's alive. He could be watching this right now. I don't know, or listening to this later. But I guess I'll get his opinion. But we'll see.
Listen, but I think that would be a great reward, though, is knowing that your offspring are doing well.
Yeah.
For a dad, like that's, I remember driving with my dad in just quiet, and just every once in a while I would turn on some Greek music, and he'd be like, and like I could see in his mind where he's like, "Don't ruin this. Let's just enjoy it." And if I would just shut up and just keep driving, get to our destination, he was like, "That was a nice drive." And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" Because even now I'm like, "Oh, I'd love to just either drive in silence or some little bit of music playing." But I don't want to. And we always will talk and stuff in the car, and nothing good has come from talking during a drive. I'll tell you that is a scientific fact. Talking during a drive, unless you're talking to yourself, that is helpful.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, my parents are both kind of talkative people, so that's not really. I don't know.
Really,
my dad's more comfortable with silence than my mom is, but it's not like he wants silence. He's just he's okay with it.
I'll be honest with you, Atlas. I perceive that your mother would also talk in her sleep. Just
she does talk in her sleep.
There you go. Yeah, that's. I think that's one of the greatest achievements I find for myself is being okay with silence, which is not. Silence can be one of the loudest things you experience. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Depeche Mode. Depeche Mode told us to enjoy the silence. If we can't take advice from Depeche Mode, for like $10, the fuck is Sheriff David Clark doing taking money from old people? Oh, there's other stuff. Okay.
The last thing we saw in my dad's house was a check written out to Sheriff David Clark. Who's
Clark?
David Clark?
I don't know.
Well, now we have what are we, fucking Sherlock Holmes on this show?
I know.
Jesus, Joey. Thanks a lot.
All of a sudden, Generation Dan Columbo edition.
Yeah, well, that's it. See, Can I ask you a question, Alice? When you become a senior citizen, which I feel like you're going to fit in, like,
oh, I am going to be the best fucking senior citizen. Definitely. I'm going to be playing Mario Kart Double Dash in the nursing home. Let's go.
I think they're going to need a huge transition of video games and electronic things in senior homes very soon. Like it's coming.
Definitely.
Well,
because like the older part of Gen X is starting to get there just a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, my wife just sent me a message that my meat is at 130 degrees and it's going up to 138. I don't know what to do.
Okay. What do you want a second to go do it?
No.
Or tell her what it is she needs to do while it's doing that.
I'm telling her to check inside because it's Lamb and I don't want to mess it up. That song was "Ignore the Silence." Is it? Okay, bro. I can't wait until I'm a senior, bro. I got like 5 different pensions coming in. That's also, you know what? That I think one of the things that you should do as a old person is enjoy the silence, not ignore the silence.
On that, Joey.
Joey, you're a little bit of a putz. How about that?
Yeah. All right. What were you saying about being a senior citizen?
I was going to say that the idea or the perspective that I tell her, babe, I'm alive. You know what? You know what? Fuck. No, I don't know what that means. But the idea or perception that we're in a situation where it's most important to stay active and doing stuff, and that will kind of keep your brain going, right?
Mhm.
Like there are physical ailments that there's not much you can do about it, but at the same time, it's like trying that stuff where it's like if you're collecting pension, you know what you should do? Sell all your shit, backpack, and start traveling. Just travel until you're done, and then when the time when you're out of when I would like allot money places and be like, all right, I have pensions coming in, so I have money on a monthly basis. I'm just gonna go see the world, and then when the time comes, whew, just on my own terms. I'm like, I'm down with that, but at the same time, I'm crazy, so with a grain of salt. There are going to be a lot of broke MFers in the 2040s, bro. I will not be one of them. Oh, for sure, for sure. By then, I'll be collecting my pension too. Kidding?
I'm going to buy a
It's just me.
vacation trailer in North Carolina within 10 miles of the ocean. I mean, like, North Carolina might be underwater by then. We'll see.
God willing, then definitely go there, Joey. It'll be cheap land, and all you have to do is put some barrels underneath your trailer. You're good to go. Then you're a sailor. And let's be honest, Joey, are you Army or would you used to be sailor? I don't know. I know Joey was in the military. I'm just, was he a sailor or was he in the Army?
In the Navy.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, one of those things. Hey, what's happening, Mick?
Cheers.
He was in the Air Force. Oh, that's
Air
why
Force.
Joey has that mental fortitude to actually talk with people. He was a bougie military bastard. Thanks a lot, Joey. Made me think you had a real job this whole time. Fucking
Okay.
liar. No, just joking. I don't know.
That's messed up.
It's not like he's standing there going, "I was in the National Guard," and then claiming he was in the military. That's just baloney. So, but yeah, no, man. I don't. What did you just went? You went and saw your Katie's family.
Yeah, so went to Katie's family's place yesterday. This whole weekend was just parties. So on the Friday, it was her other nephew's birthday because I guess this family just has it within a month of each other, all of them.
You know what that means?
Yeah.
There's a very specific time of year when everyone is humping in that family.
Yeah, something about that family. So,
hey, guy, I have a brother whose birthday was on. So my brother the past was May 29th. Another one's June 1st. Another one's June 2nd. I'm like, wow. All right, there, mom and dad.
That kind of happened. Okay, so that kind of happened with my family too, because you have my dad on January 4th, my mom on the 27th, my sister on February 1st, and then me on the 19th. So just bam, 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 one after the other.
Yeah, well, that's how it works.
Ever been to the La Brea Tar Pits? Many times. If you live in Los Angeles, you will go on a field trip to the La Brea Tar Pits at some point during elementary school. Multiple times, usually.
Can you take samples home? That's a great question.
No, you can't.
What if it was?
Does he want to?
Going,
What's the?
I would like to.
I know, right?
Just to see what happens. Maybe
I mean,
do experiments. Maybe there's a dinosaur bone. I don't know.
I don't know why that popped into his head.
It's hot though, right? Yeah. Like it's like
some of it is, some of it isn't. Some of it's like hardened over time. Is it a sweet visit? Yeah, it's kind of neat. You can see like bones sticking out of the tar. You know?
Are they real? Like, is it actually bones, or it's like?
I think at the time they looked real, but I think if I go back as an adult, I'm gonna be like, you fucking put that in there just to like make it look.
Definitely tar and feathering people.
Of course, Joey would suggest that. Anyway, so the Friday was her nephew's birthday.
Okay.
Saturday we did a surprise party for her sister-in-law, who's the mom of that nephew. Because her birthday's tomorrow at the time of recording this, but it was a surprise party, and Katie had the job of like distracting her the whole day, and she was freaking out. She's like, "What if I let the secret slip? What if she figures it out?" I'm like, "You just pretend. You're supposed to pretend everything's normal. If you're going, we're going to get our nails done." I know, right?
Yeah.
So she did that, and then I ran over to the house and helped her brother, the husband, set up the decorations.
Yeah.
So we did that, And then she didn't suspect it because when they came back, Katie's like, "Hey, non, I gotta pee. Like, can I come in the house?" And then, went in with her, and then Kyle like ushered her outside, and then we all popped out from behind the hedges. Surprise! And here's the best part. You know how in TV when people have a surprise party, they're like, "Oh my god, yay!" This was her exact face. And then just like slunk back into the house. Because she was expecting to just be at home for the rest of the night, and now there's all these fucking people in her house.
That's fair. That is a fair point.
And then it took her a second, then she comes out and enjoys the party. But like, I just love seeing that. I'll be honest, as an introvert, I could definitely see myself having that reaction.
I would just close the door and lock it.
Yeah.
I'm good. Thanks, guys.
Surprise! Oh, fuck you guys. I was hoping to take a bath. Like,
I feel like that's part of maturing as a man and definitely becoming a father is where you have an allotment for what you like. Okay, so if we're going to be home by X, like the reason why men in general, I think, are like, this is our time for doing this stuff. We got to get back on schedule because it's like, hey, I've allocated my resources for being fun and enjoyable to be around for a very specific period. And after that, get fucked, right?
Yeah.
Mick, have you seen there's a tourist thing on the news, a mini sub with 5 people paying $250K each to see the Titanic has gotten stuck on the wreck and there's a rescue mission underway? I hope. That,
no, I haven't seen that. That's pretty nuts.
Happy Juneteenth and happy Cavs title day. Oh, well, okay. Sure, that's a thing. Well, Juneteenth I know is a thing. Cavs title day. I don't know what that means. That's Cavs.
I assume it's just
basketball?
like the last time that Cavaliers, Cleveland Cavaliers.
You got maximum 90 hours to find them and bring to the service, or be a bigger graveyard. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you use your money for stupidity. Atlas, do you have a favorite book? See if Dino can guess the title based on you just giving him the topic.
Okay, this kind of reminds me of that game movie mashup where you take 2 movies where they share a word in the title, and then you got to combine the plot together, and then the person has to guess it. So, for example, a fat cartoon cat gets the chance to play catch with his dead father. You'd say Garfield of Dreams.
Oh,
yeah, so like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but so do I have a favorite book? I do. I guess I'll say fiction because I've been reading a lot of nonfiction recently. But I think my favorite book for fiction.
Wait, am I supposed to guess it?
I know. I'm trying to think of a way to say it without immediately giving everything away.
Fiction is baloney, right? Nonfiction is real.
Yes. Fiction involves plot and characters and stuff like that. Nonfiction is check out this shit that I found.
Okay.
Check out this Ozzy Osbourne painting that I found. What?
Listen, I've just figured out there, and there. Not always, like not consistently, but most of the time. And I found out my brother, he looked up at his wife and he goes, I want to talk about a place. And she goes, THERE. And he goes, okay. And I'm like, oh, so it's genetic. Interesting. It's good to know.
I want to say those guys over there, THEY apostrophe RE.
Well, hey. We're just getting knowledge. Then this time next year, we'll be like, you want to go see the wreck of people who went to see them?
Jesus, Joey. What?
Non-potable water is the same as non-drinkable. Oh, sure, there you go.
Yeah, that's true.
So, that being said, what would we... book?
Favorite book. Okay.
That was quality.
Oh, my God.
That was my impression of a father.
Let's
just start there.
So I really do enjoy Me Talk Pretty One Day. That's like my favorite book, but it's not technically fiction. It's David Sedaris, and he's just telling stories of his life. So that's not.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, Atlas, and tell you I'm probably not going to guess whatever it is.
Okay.
Just unless it's something that,
all right.
Your esophagus.
The book about the 1920s that they make you read in high school.
Great Gatsby?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, look at that.
All right.
That's okay. Mine is about. It's from the perspective of a little girl, and her dad is fucking awesome.
From the perspective of a little girl and her dad.
Recently banned in most schools. because it's offensive, and
So they say.
it is one of the greatest books for children to read.
Ooh. This is a tough one.
Let me see where can I go. You gonna check it again? Thanks, honey. What else can I add to it?
The first thing that popped into my head was The Road, but that's a boy and his dad.
Yeah. No. So it's from the perspective of a little girl,
Yeah.
and she's definitely a smartass. Which I'm like,
Wait, did you say she's deaf?
definitely a smartass.
Oh, definitely a smartass.
Yeah. Got quite the mouth on her. But yeah, her not to give it away. Her dad is. Oh, the alarm just went off. Okay.
What for
Give me 1 second for the hair. You guess. I'm gonna be back. I gotta bring that meat in.
Okay.
Because otherwise, all hell's gonna break loose.
Yep.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Keep talking.
All right, chat. Do we know? So definitely a smartass. Book from the perspective. Atlas, have you ever met anyone from the Jackass crew? No, I have not. Despite being from LA, people are like, "Oh my god, you must run into celebrities every day." Let's see. I have Josh Peck, Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World, Scarlett Johansson, and that's it. Those are the only like major celebrities that I've run into at any particular time. I did get to meet Tony La Russa once, but that's baseball. That I don't know if that counts, right? And the only reason that was the case was it was something with my dad's work, where like he got invited onto the field where the Dodgers were playing the Cardinals, and he was there. It was pretty dope. So what the fuck is he talking about? Book from the point of view of the. No. God damn it. Tony La Russa was managing the White Sox in 1985 at the first baseball game I went to. Wow. I met Tony La Russa when he was old as balls, and that was like over 10 years ago, and he's still around somehow, I think. Am I right? Atlas, now is your chance to talk shit about Dino. That's true. He doesn't watch this. I don't know. I kind of can't. He's kind of cantankerous, but you know, he's a good person. I really hate how he likes suits, and suits are dumb, and they need to go. What is your favorite chain restaurant that serves alcohol? Favorite chain restaurant that serves alcohol? I don't really go to a lot of them. There's not like most of the ones in LA are like at the periphery or whatever. Because you have a lot of fast food in the interior of LA, but not a lot of like Applebee's or Chili's or that kind of thing. If Dino was a deflated blimp, what company blimp would it be? Goodyear or MetLife? I'll go with MetLife. What do you think of puppets? Creepy as hell. Except for Avenue Q. Avenue Q and the Muppets kind of make it not as creepy. But I think that's the exception, not the rule, yeah? Favorite chain restaurant? I don't know. Red Lobster with the Cheddar Bay biscuits? Those are pretty delicious. Let's see. It's another thing. If you were any member of the Breakfast Club, what member would you be? Do I get to choose, or am I like explaining who I am? Who is your? God damn it, Joey! You're going too fast. Okay, I'm probably the brain, because I'm definitely not the criminal or the jock. I guess I could be Ali Sheedy, be the basket case. Yeah, I'll go with basket case. Least favorite G.I. Joe character? G.I. Joe was a little before my time, because I remember I was born in like early to mid 90s here. G.I. Joe was like on its way out by the time I was like forming memories. I was about to say Splinter, but that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Do you run for fun? I swim for exercise. I don't run for fun. If so, what is your mile time? I think it was like 9 minutes, 30 something seconds for the mile. There was a kid in my class named Charlie Bennell who got like somewhere like 6 minutes something seconds, and I think he had the record for it by the time I left elementary school. Joey is just like firing off questions one
Okay.
after the other.
Let's see here. Atlas, you're on touch. You make me laugh.
I've been reading them off. You don't have to read them off again, but just like
I gotta let me read them off. Okay. Have you
Okay.
ever met anyone from the Jackass crew? That's
I haven't.
like
No.
Simmons' parent nearby. Tony Ross said there's managed websites. Atlas, now is your chance to talk shit about Dino. Also fair, totally reasonable.
I just said like fuck you and your like of Suits, and that was about it. Everything else was fine.
I know you don't like suits, but I feel like I could convert you. Like a nice suit will change your perspective. Hey, also too, have you ever been fucked in a suit? Because I'll tell you, that changes your perspective.
I feel like that would just be like in the way, right? I got to put your like hang your jacket up or whatever, and then after that, it's like it's just another pair of pants. What makes that different than anything else?
Maybe, yeah. It's like for me, even people have been noticing too. When I have been doing comedy, like I bombed on Friday.
Yeah,
and people are like, "No, you did fine," and I'm like, "No, I didn't. It was not good." Because I told a story, and I had taken an edible like an hour before my set. So it kind of just kicked in, and I was like, "Oh, my joints feel great." And I was like, "Oh, it feels nice." And then all of a sudden, I forgot half the story midway through, and I'm like, "That's that. Bye."
So you had your own lemonade incident, basically, or
kind of. Well, I haven't had edibles or any weed since like January.
Okay.
So like I've been just ibuprofen like a loser, and yeah. So
that's a rough time.
If Dino was a deflated blimp, what company blimp would it be? Goodyear or MetLife?
I said MetLife.
I would even probably say I would go Ozempic just to really mess with people. It's diabetes meds.
All right.
Atlas, what do you think of puppets? Jesus.
I said they were creepy except for the Muppets and Avenue Q.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
If you were any of the Breakfast Club, what member would you be?
I said Basket Case. Ali Sheedy's Basket Case. Yeah.
Which one's that?
Ali Sheedy. The
I
Basket
don't know who Ali
Case.
Sheedy. The Basket Case.
The doth looking chick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like a mix between her and the
brain,
the nerdy kid who is just trying to please people.
Yeah,
I feel like who is your least favorite G.I. Joe character? There's no such thing.
I had no answer.
You shouldn't, sir. You'll get beat up on the schoolyard multiple times. Do you run for fun? Disgusting, Joey.
I said no. I swim for fun, but or not fun.
I went swimming yesterday. It felt great.
Yeah, because there's like the whole gravity problem of being a fat guy is a non-issue. You're just floating. Yeah, or levitating, as Dua Lipa says.
I think that's the greatest achievement of Atlas's life is referencing Dua Lipa in a conversation. I feel
here's the best part. So Katie is incredibly sick of that song because her kids want to listen to it over and over. So every once in a while, I will call her my sugar boo just to mess with her head because she's like, "Mother, that fucking song."
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, hey, what you have to do is turn it into a ringtone. Like Scotty doesn't know. Just everywhere.
I took "Tell Me Where Appa Is" and turned it into my text tone now. So
that's fantastic. Would you rather have a Bud Light with Stone Cold Steve Austin or a steroid injection with Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Why?
I'd rather have the beer with Dwayne The Rock Johnson than
So interestingly enough, there's a lot of wrestlers who have gone into the area of just personal development and relationship with oneself. So like Diamond Dallas Page, who number one looks like a catcher's mitt at his prime, now teaches people yoga and especially focuses on veterans and people who are overweight to help them push through.
That's cool.
That's a great thing. But Stone Cold Steve Austin is like, hey, barbecue, living right. And so like, it's very weird.
Yeah.
What is this? He said, Greece, Canada. Where the fuck is he from? Like, pick a country, buddy. Listen, I will stab you right in the face in your big ass buck teeth.
Wait, who's he? He says he said that?
I'm assuming me.
Oh.
Dino, what is the most money you have ever spent on a belt? I don't know, like $60. I used to have belt buckles. Never had a belt that needed a buckle. I just thought
I
they
never,
looked cool.
I never understood the like giant belt, like Texas looking belt buckle or whatever, because like that just seems like it would dig into your tummy all day. Right?
Yes, but also you got to remember, Dallas, these are people without tummies. Like they're fit, like men, like not
Not always.
you and I.
I've seen
Okay,
lots of
look-
fat dudes with that kind of belt buckle.
But remember, belt buckles, as per I watched Yellowstone, which was very enjoyable,
Mhm.
it was like that was your reward for like winning something. You got a buckle to signify like that's why it was a commemorative thing. It's
Oh.
quite interesting. Well, it's a whole other world. Like, because remember, there's cowboys, and then there's like cowmen, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's not going to go over well, but let's try anyway. Like, but that's the thing is like being
Some
a
people have
man.
flat stomachs. It's wild. I know. It's rough. Rough for a lot of us out there.
It's, if anything, I see men with flat stomachs is the same as women who get that dick root going, and you're like, hey, that's too much. That's too much. What are you trying to sell? It's ridiculous.
I've always heard that called a cum dumpster, but you know, I hang out with weird people.
A cum dumpster would just be something you refer to somebody who's promiscuous
Oh.
and lets people just shots fired and let God sort them out. But
do I remember the show The Osbournes? If so, who is the cast member that he would want to hit with the board the most? I do remember The Osbournes. I think
the daughter,
probably the son. The son was a kind of a huge
son
dick.
as well.
Yeah.
He really well. He's sober now,
Yeah.
and the girl is just seesawing between fat and thin, but she is racist. So,
Oh, fun. All right.
yeah.
That's
Well, she
fun.
was the one who said, "Who are you going to kick out, Donald Trump? Who's going to clean all your toilets?" And I'm like, that's not something you should say there, lady.
Mm.
Which is weird. It's a weird somebody who says that. You're going, "Hey, did you not think that was racist?" Because that's like super racist. I've made those jokes before. They do not age well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
No,
everyone's
definitely.
stupid kid at some point. A lot of people who turn sober are boring as shit. It is. See, but there's a difference between living a more sober life, like myself, and versus people who are like, oh, I'm sober for 7 years. I got this coin. You're like, hey, man, you just switched one addiction for another.
Mm.
You have to become okay with being a human being. Like that's what you're like. Some people can't. And I feel for those people because that really fucking sucks. But
I mean, it's like if that's what you got to do to, like, keep yourself from ending up on on the curb somewhere. Okay, fine, but
sure. But at the same time, that's you're halfway. Stopping doing stuff is halfway there. The next half is just being okay with it being a thing.
Yeah,
That's fine.
or just like learning to like enjoy
Balance?
yourself.
Well,
Did you say balance? Yeah.
Well, just balance for everything, right? Like, I think
Yeah.
that's the hardest thing. Like, I think about a lot. Like, if I had kids when I was really young,
Mhm.
I would have fucked those kids up like so bad, so very. Like, those kids would not have been. They would have been like. Interestingly enough, like they still would have been like warriors and like chiefs of industry. But they would not be balanced people. Like, they would have problems.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is when you aren't balanced, that leads into being susceptible to addiction and stuff like that because you're just trying to cope. Whereas now I'm of the opinion, which is completely fictitious because I have no kids, it doesn't make a difference. But I feel like I would be able to give them better emotional support and understanding. You guys are planning
To
to
be
be
fathers
fathers one day or no?
No.
I would
Zara.
love to be a father, but at the same time, I'm old as shit and I just got my shit together ish, like still not fully together. So, you guys want kids, right?
Katie wants them more than I do, but I've come around in the last few years where like I was so afraid of carrying all of the stuff
Sure.
from my parents' marriage and stuff, but Katie
Yeah.
is so strong, and especially now that I'm like starting to teach kids, I'm becoming more comfortable with just being around
Yeah.
that age group, where before I was just afraid I would like, I don't know, crush one of them or
Sure. Which may still happen. Remember, there's a reason why kids have bendy bones. It's because parents are horrible.
Yeah.
But it's just
and like it's
accidents
stuff
happen. What are you gonna do?
It's stuff I've worked on in therapy,
Yeah.
where like talking with him, he's like, it is going to happen no matter what you do. They're going to be fucked in the head somehow. And I was
Yeah,
like,
you could.
I like
but-
you.
Yeah, you could do everything right, and
Yeah.
something still messes up. That's life. There's nothing. I'm a proud father of 3 and a grandfather of 2. Believe it or not, I'm still surprised that someone touched your wiener, Joey. Let's just be honest. Who's Atlas's favorite historical president? Definitely not Bush, Trump, or Reagan. Maybe Trump. No.
No, least favorite historical
The
president.
least favorite?
I gotta go with Reagan just because like every terrible thing that has
Reagan
happened to most people started with him.
Yeah, that's fine. That's realistically, yeah, Joey. And God, listen, the whole nation of America thanks you for completing that procedure, just to be clear. Kids are so easy to take care of, in my opinion. Yeah, you just handed them off, you numbnuts. You went into the Air Force. You're like, oh, I gotta go fly the planes.
I mean, like I took care of my half sibling, or mostly the older one, because I hadn't moved out of my dad's place by that point. I was
Yeah.
16 when she was born.
Yeah.
So I took care of her when she was like a baby, and that wasn't hard. It was, make sure they
Yeah.
don't brain themselves on the coffee table, wipe ass, and you're pretty much good.
At least not hard.
Yeah.
Right? Reagan walked so
Walked
Bush
so-
and Trump could run.
Yeah, that's pretty much accurate. Like he started the trickle down economics, union busting,
Listen,
all
the
that
problem-
stuff. Yeah.
the problem is Reagan walked so Bush and Trump can run, and so Biden can trip on the stairs. Let's just call it as.
I mean, he's been just the thing where it's like it's all kind of like he's kept everything mostly status quo. He's done a couple good things, but it's been like, come on, man, give me some progress. Like he's like, I'm going to do the progressive stuff, and then he gets in and he's like, we'll do it later. Like,
Oh, that's
guys,
yeah. Come on.
yeah,
But that's been politics for since time
forever. Yeah,
immemorial, right? When I got back from Iraq, Jimmy didn't recognize her perhaps. Like, yeah, bro, that happens, eh? Like, it's very different when it comes to men and women. Like that's like something that I'm a friend is going through right now is like she's tried to make do her best with her son. She's a great mom and really handles so much, but at the same time he's hit puberty and he thinks he's king shit, and she's like, okay, so stepdad comes over and fucking reamed him out for 2 hours, and you're like, now who's talking, bitch? Like, and that's and you're like, that's kind of becoming a man. And I told her, I'm like, there's no survivors when this goes through. Like, your relationship with your son is going to change, his relationship with other men is going to change, his relationship with himself is going to change. Like, it's just a whole other, and also too, he's probably going to get punched in the face, which that helps.
Yes, the through line of this entire podcast: when is my brother gonna get punched in the face by someone? Because it's gonna happen, but ain't gonna be me, ain't gonna be anyone in my family, but someone's gonna hit him, and he will deserve it. But
listen, hey, but I think everyone at some point should get punched in the face, just because then
yeah, definitely,
you got checked. Carry on accordingly. Being a stepdad, the most thankless job. 100%.
Yeah, I think so. Or just a step-parent in general. But
absolutely. Well, it's you have all the responsibility, none of the respect, authority, or anything. It's a very thankless job, but like, you know what, people are trying, and
I think it depends on when
you
become a step parent. Like, the earlier you become a step parent, the easier it is to like slip into that role.
It might be all they know and stuff like that, for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, can you imagine having like putting in like 10 years on a kid and helping them like learn how to throw a ball and shit like that, and then going, well, you're not my dad. I just punch him right in the dick. Just boom. How about that, idiot?
Yeah.
That's. Which, hey, luckily you're going to be teaching kids. You could tell them that. And be like, I taught you for a whole year. Now I'm going to kick you right in the nuts. Bam!
Oh, yeah. So there were these 2 kids in my class this last week where it's 2 brothers, and the older one, he's big. He's like up to my chest here.
Jesus.
And he's like 10. But he's big. He's up to my chest. He's 10. He talks like Homestar Runner. So the R's are W's, right? And then the class was like a ninja class, which parkour, right?
Okay.
You call it ninja class, it's parkour.
That's,
So
how do you take parkour and make it racist? Call it ninja class. There you go,
Yeah.
everybody.
I mean, but they're children. They don't have the
They have
'cause,
to
like,
be taught racism. You can't just
Yeah.
assume they'll get it. That's
yeah. So for them, it's just like they're fans of Ninjago or whatever the thing is. So they're like, oh, the ninja class,
Yeah.
So like we play our first like game to like warm them up, and it's not sticking a katana through someone's chest.
Yes.
So the older one goes, "Where's the bloodshed?"
That kid's going places. Not
Yeah.
good places, but he's going places.
I feel kind of bad for him because his younger brother was a crybaby, and like you can tell that his parents were like, make sure he doesn't,
Yeah.
freak out. And by the end of the week, it was starting to wear on him because he's like, I can't keep him from freaking out overall.
Yeah.
And it just like I felt kind of bad for him because like the little one just like couldn't take a loss well, because they're games, right?
Gonna learn today. Let me see. I wonder how my family is still holding together. My relationship with him is complicated. Listen,
Yeah.
there is nothing more rewarding and treacherous than family and lineage and all that kind of stuff, because ninja class is so much more non-racist. We're no longer going to call it sitting Indians. Oh yeah.
Oh, we just call it crisscross applesauce now. I think. Yeah.
Or just cross your legs. That's
Yeah.
it. Just cross your legs. I don't. Yeah. Well, that's just life, right? There's a huge move that's happening right now where people are starting to realize that it's not. There's a reason why it's important to celebrate your parents, whether you have 1, 2, 7, 9, doesn't make a difference. But it's one of those things where, man, do it while you can.
Yeah.
My siblings have issues with my father. I can't imagine people who don't have issues with their parents, right? Like parents,
Gotta have something, guys. It's
it's brutal, right? Wait until this next generation of moms has babies and the kids are in school and everyone finds out about lockdown only. Listen, that's going to be traumatic. That's for sure.
That's going to be awkward.
I do too. You don't know your mom. Damn, that's a hard.
Damn, Zara.
If I ever meet you, bro, I'll give you a hug. And I'm big and fat, so it's enjoyable.
This guy has like he's a big like Nexus and Night fan too. He follows me everywhere. So
thanks for the support, bro.
Yeah, thanks for the support, man. It's
That's...
yeah. So I guess the
Zaragoza is a badass name. I hope I pronounced it right, but no. Oh wait, no.
What then?
You do know your mother? Because that would be bad.
Or you aren't a fan of Nexus and Night. I don't know what the thing
is. He's like, I'm going.
No, fuck you.
I'm following him to hunt him down. It's piecing together.
Anyway, I guess the lesson to be learned from this is if your dad wants to be left alone from Father's Day, leave him alone. Like, I know my mom. I just don't know about my mom's relationship with my dad. Okay, whatever.
Well, that's an even. Well, she liked him at one point. It's not that tragic.
All right. Okay.
But that being said, he's a fan of Atlas in general. Hey, who isn't a fan of Atlas? It's got maps. It's got knowledge. It's a wonderful thing. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm a bad person. But yeah, no, absolutely. Is if you're wondering what to do next year for your dad because you missed yesterday. Sorry.
Or at the time of hearing this 5 days ago. Or 4 days ago, whatever. Yeah.
But I would definitely suggest that do something nice and then leave him alone. You just be like, here's a nice card, maybe a good piece of meat you can cook, and walk away. Or if you hate them, give them a really, really horrible tie.
Yeah.
Just watch them tear up. It'll be great. Because they're not crying out of joy. They're crying out of, damn, I have to wear this now.
Atlas is easy to be a fan of. I've never met a bad person named Atlas. I've never met another person named Atlas. What the fuck are you talking about?
Tig Jones.
Give someone else a chance to type what the fuck. Hey, you got to be quicker than that. All the things will pop up. We will see them, but
Yeah, exactly. Eventually. Oh, that's about it. So
yeah.
yeah.
So
I'm glad people had a good day. That's for sure.
we hope you all had a good Father's Day. Let us know what you did for Father's Day in the comments below. Leave
Absolutely.
a like. Follow us at Generation Dan on Twitter or underscore Dan, Generation_Dan on Instagram. Dino, where can they find you?
Just Google Dino the Genetic Marvel. If you can't do that, maybe you can use voice commands now. You don't even have to type it, you fucking lazy pricks. Just you
My
can go
dearest
at
phone.
Google, look up Dino the Genetic Marvel, and then it'll show up. It's fine.
That was like half an Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
Get on the chopper.
Yeah. All right.
Who's your daddy and what does he do? I did hashtag Who's your daddy and what does he do on everything I did for this episode because I'm like,
Perfect.
absolutely.
You can find me at Atlas Novak, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, or you can follow my YouTube channel at The Epileptic Comic. I'm currently doing a parody of Because I Got High about
which is perfect.
Yeah, I gotta do the other couple of verses, and then I'll maybe cut them all together into the one song. And then
do it in different locations just to really
I'm going to, because like the first time I just sung it in my car, and then I learned you can do voiceover, so I'm just gonna film myself in different locations and then do the voiceover.
Totally reasonable.
And then you can follow my other podcast at Nexus at Night. That's about a trading card game called Vanguard. So do that, or check that out anywhere you get your podcasts or on YouTube. And thanks everybody for listening. And
absolutely.
We'll see you next time. Bye, Daddy.